Coming up on Sooner Sports Pad, OU football survived a scare right here in Lawrence. We'll have Dylan and Alyse break down what went wrong and what it means moving forward for the OU football team. Also, we'll dive deeper into a day in the life of OU gymnast Karrie Thomas. Sports Pad starts now.
Welcome to Studio D on the campus of the University of Oklahoma. This is Sooner Sports Pad, brought to you by OU Health. And now, here's your host, Abbi Bennett.
Welcome to Sooner Sports Pad. I'm your host, Abbi Bennett. And standing next to me, you might have seen them before, Dylan Rivera and Alyse Jones. Now let's start with the game nobody was expecting in Lawrence, Kansas over the weekend. OU football almost fell into a trap game, but they came out with the win. The last time the Sooners were scoreless at half was in 2014 against Clemson, and OU saw it again last Saturday, but a flip switched in the third when a reverse play sent Trayvon West 65 yards downfield to set up a TD for Jeremiah Hall. That bomb gave the Sooners the momentum they needed to pull ahead of the Jayhawks. It was then Caleb Williams who experienced some deja vu on the 4th and 3, taking it to the house yet again for a 40-yard touchdown. But if you think that was not heroic enough, Superman saved the day again when Kennedy Brooks is stopped on 4th and 1. Williams rips the ball right out of his hands and sealed the deal with that first down. This extraordinary play left this Kansas Jayhawk player stunned, along with the rest of the stadium. Let's take this one last look at this play. Brooks had nowhere to go, so Williams said, "Don't worry, sir, I got it." But the Sooners bounced back and got the dub, 35-23. Now Kansas for sure thought they had this one in the bag. I mean, they even emailed all of Kansas and told the school to come cheer on the Jayhawks, but better luck next time. But in all craziness, Dylan and Alyse, I want to know what Sooners stood out to y'all.
Well, usually here on Sooner Sports Pad, I'm the one that kind of looks at the defensive side of the ball, and I'll do the same thing again tonight. He started to make a name for himself over these last two games, and he deserves recognition for it. Give me Key Lawrence. Lawrence finished the game on Saturday with 7 solo tackles and 8 total tackles, leading the team in both stat categories. He also tallied 2 tackles for loss and this highlight of a forced fumble. The sophomore Tennessee transfer looks like he's starting to find his footing with this defense, and he's making some big-time plays for the Sooners. Something about the way that Lawrence played up there in Lawrence, Kansas. Something about it. But, you know, I think that it really kind of shows that he can be that guy that steps up into that DB role when they need him.
Love it. Well, it's really hard not to highlight this guy every single week, but he's lived up to all of the expectations that Sooner fans have. They call him Superman for a reason, and it's because he came back and saved the day once again. So my player of the week is Caleb Williams. The true freshman finished 15 for 20 passing for 178 yards with 2 touchdowns. He also added 8 carries for 70 yards and another touchdown. For just his second time as QB1, Williams jumped to having the 4th best odds to win the Heisman. But the moment that really stood out on Saturday was the gotta have it play. Like Abbi mentioned, the Sooners led the Jayhawks 28-23, and on 4th and 1 at their own 46-yard line, Kennedy Brooks was stopped at the line of scrimmage. But that's when Superman showed up, stripped the ball from Brooks, and ran for the first down. You can see that play right there. This is the play that changed absolutely everything. Caleb Williams is quick, he's smart, he knew that it was a gotta have it play, and he got it done for the Sooners.
He went from Clark Kent to Superman right there, right? Yeah, he changed into his suit.
With the jokes going. Now, there were some great plays against Kansas. Let's send it over to Katie Arata to break down her top 3 plays.
The Sooners played an unexpected nail-biter this weekend in Lawrence. Here are my top 3 plays of the game. Coming in at number 3, we have Tennessee transfer Key Lawrence stealing the ball, forcing a much-needed fumble in the 4th quarter. Now, after such a big defensive play, the Sooners needed to capitalize, and they did, with Caleb Williams taking it himself on 4th and 3 all the way to the end zone. And my number 1 play of the game, Caleb Williams on 4th and 1, he hands the ball off to Kennedy Brooks. Brooks was about to go down just short of the line to gain, so Williams snatched the ball back and ran, giving the Sooners the much-needed first down. Well, the Sooners definitely had me on the edge of my seat. Those were my top 3 plays of the game. Back to you guys in the studio.
Well, I think the entire country is talking about that play made by Williams, but I want to hear what Coach Riley and KB had to say in this week's Crimson Critique.
Sports Pad, brought to you by OU.
I saw it was Caleb, so I know that I couldn't get tackled with the ball, so I hit it, so I gave it to Caleb.
We've talked about those things. Do we practice, a guy, flicking a ball back or pulling out of hands? I didn't have a great view of exactly how much Kennedy gave it, or Caleb just pulled it out, but we do talk about it. Have we practiced that one? No. You got to give those two kids a bunch of credit. Kennedy for realizing, because Kennedy doesn't, obviously, as we know, doesn't fumble the ball much. So I think Kennedy realized what Caleb was trying to do. They both understood the situation, and it was worth the chance. Like I say, even if Caleb would have gotten tackled, it would have been, obviously worth the chance to do it. And so it's smart football, and I don't want to take credit for it though. Those guys made that play in a big moment.
When we come back, we will catch up with OU Volleyball, plus a member on OU Women's Gym will share her incredible story. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back. Now, there's been plenty of weekly awards across the Sooner sports world. Sports Pad's Audrey Goodson talked to 4-time Rookie of the Week. Let's see who she caught up with.
Thanks, Abby. I'm joined here with OU Volleyball's newest freshman phenom, Peyton Dunn. Peyton, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I guess let's just jump right into it. So
you've been named Big 12 Newcomer of the Week 4 times so far this season. How does that feel?
It's a pretty good feeling. Yeah, I love it, but pretty good stuff. But kind of shout out to my teammates because they're making me better and they're giving me the opportunity to. So, yeah.
So going forward, what are some of your other goals coming off of that?
Kind of always shoot for Rookie of the Season or something. But yeah, just maybe another one too. Just another Rookie of the Week would be pretty nice to me. But yeah.
So coming up, you've got an away game this week against Kansas. What can we expect to see out of that?
Oh, it's going to be a pretty good game. They're a pretty good team, but I think if we're kind of firing on all cylinders, I think we have a pretty good shot. But yeah, it's an exciting game.
You guys haven't had a game since October 15th. Do you think that break is going to be beneficial for you guys?
Yes, so our coach let us go home this weekend. We could kind of have this whole weekend off, and I think that was pretty helpful to us. But yeah.
So why did you choose OU, and did you ever consider going anywhere else?
I did consider going other places, but I chose OU because of the opportunity it kind of gave me. And I also love the coaching and kind of the atmosphere of OU, football, and just overall atmosphere of OU was pretty cool to me.
So tell me what it's been like for you playing on this team so far.
Oh, it's been fun. It was a pretty big jump from club in high school to the other one, but yeah, I love it. But yeah.
So have you seen any surprises playing at this level?
Yeah, there's been some plays where some girls we wouldn't see that in the level that we were at, and just some bigger arms and bigger girls out there, more experience too.
Well, we're really excited for you, and thank you so much for just being on our show today.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, good luck to you the rest of the season. From everyone here at Sooner Sports Pad, Abby, back to you.
This next story contains graphic content. Now, just 5 days ago, the shooter from the Parkland High School incident in 2018 pleaded guilty to all 34 counts against him. OU women's gymnast Karrie Thomas graduated a year early from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and if she hadn't, she would have been there when 17 lives were taken.
Situation in South Florida.
Oh my God! There is a saying that everything happens for a reason, and Karrie Thomas lives by it. Thomas graduated early from high school to attend the University of Maryland because she knew gymnastics-wise she was ready. But once her dreams were becoming a reality, her reality turned into tragedy.
Junior year ended and I went to college that summer. And a few months later, February came around, Valentine's Day and a school shooting happened at my high school, and I knew everyone there. I woke up and I was like getting all these texts, and I was like, what is happening? Like,
in February of 2018, Karrie's first year at Maryland, her life motto changed forever.
I went to practice that day, and like obviously like I'm thinking about it all day long, and like I was very emotional, and I was just like thinking like I could have been there. Like I graduated early, but like I knew everyone there. I knew like what people were missing. I knew like all those kind of people, so it was a very emotional and like tragic moment for me, but I'm very thankful that I wasn't there.
As her freshman year was coming to an end, she had a realization about life and took a step to make sure she would never forget.
So I have a tattoo that says everything happens for a reason, and I got it after my freshman year of college because I think that's something that I really live by, and that moment is one of the moments that I think that like really like is the reason why I got that tattoo, is because like I went through that and I wasn't there for a reason, and I graduated early for a reason.
After a difficult season at Maryland, Thomas decided to enter the transfer portal and explore her options for her gymnastics career and be a part of a winning program. Thomas joined the Oklahoma gymnastics team quickly after a phone call from Coach KJ Kindler, and her teammates welcomed her right in and were touched by her story.
Since she graduated early, we came into OU at the same time, so we lived in the dorms together, and then we've kind of just been on this journey together. And so she's definitely a big asset to this team.
This is the place I want to be. This is the place that's going to push me. This is where I'm going to reach my goals. This is what I want. I want the hard work. I want the dedication. I want the passion. So that's why I came here.
Our thoughts are with all of those who are involved in this tragic school shooting, but stay where you are because when we come back, it's time for FaceOff. Thanks for sticking with us. It is time for FaceOff, so let's get right into it. Now, we've seen that the OU football team likes to keep Sooner Nation on the edge of their seats, so I want to know if this win over Kansas, if we should be concerned about it.
I think there's a lot to consider from Saturday's game, and if you're just looking at stats and numbers, it does look a little scary. But if you were watching the game, you may say otherwise. So I think there should only be a hint of worry, just a hint. I think the biggest thing that may be skipped over when you're looking at just a quick rapid of the game is the first half. Kansas had the ball for 21 minutes and 56 seconds. Oklahoma, on the other hand, had it for only 8 minutes and 28 seconds. That's a 13-minute and 30-second difference. That's nearly a whole quarter's worth of football. When you don't touch the ball, you can't score. Now, obviously, it's on the defense to get the ball back, and allowing Jason Bean to throw for 246 yards doesn't look too good on a resume, although I do think he is an underrated quarterback. Penalties were also a big issue for the Sooners on Saturday, so while there is some concern to be had, I am begging you OU fans out there, do not hit the panic button. You are still 8-0. Everything's okay.
Yeah, I agree. Like Dylan said, I think there's a lot of factors that have to be kept in mind from this game. First, this was a road game against a team that typically isn't a threat for the Sooners. Now, the players went in on Monday to film, but didn't actually practice. So I think that they went into this weekend thinking that they had it easy, but were absolutely rattled whenever Kansas came out and had their best game of the season. But to answer the question, no, this is not anything to worry about. This was just a bad game for Oklahoma. It's clear that they can play significantly better than they did on Saturday. Now, the Sooners racked up 8 penalties for 55 yards in the first half, plus had a handful of players out of the game. Mike Woods, Woody Washington, Mario Williams, DJ Graham, De'Laren Turner-Yell, and Jalen Redmond were all out. So that's bound to impact the Sooners game. And finally, like Dylan mentioned, if you look at the possession of the ball, OU had just 8 possessions on Saturday. They had double that against Texas, and they had 12 last week against TCU. So there are a lot of factors that you have to think about, but I think that the players realized this, Alex Grinch realized this, and Lincoln Riley, so it's bound to just go up from here.
I think one thing that you got to point out is this is only Lance Leipold's first year with Kansas.
Right.
So for him to keep OU close in his first game against the Sooners, that's pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
Definitely. Now, there are other Sooner sports that are in full swing with their season. So, Dylan and Alyse, I want to know if there's another Sooner that we need to keep our eye on.
Well, you say I'm not allowed to talk about football, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to talk about football that's played at John Crane and not at Owen Field. And when I look at the OU soccer team and I watch their footage, there's one player that really pops out to me, and that's Bree Amos. Amos is oftentimes wearing the captain's armband when she takes the pitch, and her play tells you all you need to know about why the coaches and players respect her. She's tallied 5 goals, and she leads the team in assists with 4 on the season. She is also tops in shots on goal, so that tells you she's firing off a lot of good chances and looking to score on her own plenty as well. Amos is that perfect blend of goal scorer and passing artist that you want in a team captain. She's aggressive and she brings leadership to the table. And there's a lot of reasons why when you watch this OU soccer team, she really stands out.
Well, this is a fun one because I think there's not a lot of times that we get to brag about these players as much as I would like to. We see them in stories and in interviews, but I'm going to brag about a girl from OU Volleyball, and that's middle blocker Paige Anderson. This girl is incredible. She's a redshirt senior playing her last year of eligibility, but she's been a Sooner standout every single season. She was out last year with an injury, but before that, she's a 2-time All Big 12 second team selection. She led the team in blocks her freshman and sophomore year, paced the Big 12 in blocks her sophomore year, and notched double-digit kills 14 times her junior year. Now, she's coming off of this injury, but she continues to shine this season. She had 18 kills and 19 points just against West Virginia, and against TCU, she had 9 blocks. Not to mention, she carries the leadership on this team, and I know that if I were playing volleyball against her, I would definitely want to stay out of the way.
You know, Alyse, I agree with you. There are some Sooner sports we need to start bragging on. But last but not least, give me your viral videos.
Well, Halloween is upcoming, and that means we're all thinking about costumes and parties and candy, of course. Well, there's some people that take this holiday very seriously, including Mississippi State head football coach Mike Leach. Now, Leach and the Bulldogs just finished off a resounding 45-6 win over Vanderbilt, but Leach wasn't asked about the team in his post-game interview. He was asked about candy. Take a listen.
The latest, you know, there's still candy innovation, although a while back I found that Europe had better candy than we did overall. It's because they have gummy everything. And then, you know, they have those Nerds clusters, which is new.
The gummy.
Yeah, which is good. The Nerds clusters is good.
I gotta agree with Coach. These are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. These are pretty good. You want one?
I mean,
maybe
after the show.
After the show. Well, Tom Brady had his 600th touchdown, which is an amazing accomplishment. But somebody may have accidentally given away the game ball to a fan and had to spend the entire break working to get it back. Check this out.
Negotiations in NFL history.
Right here, he's like, we need that ball. That's 600. What? Really? So what do you want? $1 million? No.
Oh, no,
a date with Giselle. A date with Giselle, and I'm in. Tom? Okay, Tom will do it. He'll allow it. One time. You got it.
This is Mike Evans realizing that he gave away the ball, and the fan didn't get a date with Giselle, but this is what he did get. 2 signed jerseys, a Brady helmet, a signed Mike Evans jersey, and game cleats, $1,000 to the Bucks team store, and 2 season tickets for this season and for next season. But that game ball is supposedly worth $500,000. So
Ooh, wow.
I don't know if it's an even trade, but I can take it.
All right, well, stay right where you are because coming up, I'm going to give you all the Sooner sports to look out for. Plus, we're going to have some OU trivia.
Trivia. Gotta be smart.
Sooner softball and baseball take the Diamond Wednesday to play in the annual charity game at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Sooner soccer will play the Baylor Bears on Thursday. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Volleyball goes on the road Friday to Lawrence for a 6:30 matchup, and this Sunday is Fan Appreciation Day, so the women's basketball team will have free admission for their game at 2 p.m. against Rogers State. All right, Dylan and Alyse, it's time for some trivia. Put your thinking caps on. All right, first question. Who has the highest batting average in OU baseball history?
I actually know that one. That's Eldale Mitchell.
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Way to go.
Yes,
See,
it
I told
is.
you might know, son. Okay, next question.
That was impressive.
Who has hit the most home runs for OU softball?
Jocelyn Allen?
No.
Oh.
That
I
was
knew
my
you were gonna
guess.
guess
That's
that.
my guess. I mean,
That would have been my guess.
Her initials are LC.
Lauren Chamberlain.
Correct. Thank you, audience.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, moving on. You might know this one. Who has hit the second most home runs for OU softball?
Jocelyn Allen.
Correct. Alyse is on a roll. Okay, next one. What is the name of OU's softball complex? It might have been on What to Watch For.
Marita Hines Field. Right?
Yes.
why did I blank on that? As soon as you asked,
Come on,
it went
Dylan.
out of my head.
Come on. Okay, next question. How many no-hitters have OU baseball pitchers thrown?
Is it 8?
Yes, correct.
Nice.
You didn't even
Nice.
get very
Wow. That was a
Okay,
good
next
one.
question. Who has hit the most home runs for OU in the 2000s? This one's kind of tricky.
Unfortunately,
Take
I
a
was an
guess.
infant, so I wasn't watching.
Oh. I don't know.
Ryan Rollinger.
Correct.
Oh.
Alyse
Someone might
is
help
taking
me
this
with that
one home. Thank you so much for watching Sooner Sports Pad. We'll see you next week.